Hey everybody, got another video here for you. Over the last few months, I've gotten a number of new tools and supplies, and I thought I'd share them with you just in case there was something that you might want to add to your guitar building arsenal. Everything that I'm going to be showing you came off of Amazon Prime, except for one item, Fret Doctor, which you get from Sweetwater. And none of it's sponsored, no sponsored links or anything like that. This is just stuff that I got that's useful that I thought might interest you all. So here we go in no particular order. There's about a dozen items altogether. So first up, we have a pretty common tool, detail sander. This one's a Wen unit, and a set of sanding pads for it. I got both of these items off of Amazon Prime, and this guy was 17 bucks. Well, these prices are going to be rounded up. This is 17 bucks, and the assortment was 14 bucks. Goes all the way from P40 all the way up to 320, and you got a nice big fat stack of each size. So yeah, it's now my new preferred sander, replacing the good old quarter sheet sander. And yeah, the pads cost a little bit more, but it's not that bad. It's great for doing detail work, obviously. It gets in all the nooks and crannies real good. It's got enough flat area that you can use it for leveling and flattening stuff. And it's a little bit lighter and more maneuverable than the typical quarter sheet sander is. So yeah, this is a new favorite toy. And also with like coarse grit, like a 40 grit, it'll make quick work of even mahogany. So yeah, in fact, the Aero 5 pine body, I didn't use any rasps, I didn't use any files, I didn't use the microplane or anything for shaping. I just used this thing and 40 grit, and it took no time at all and just less effort. So the next item is a handheld mini belt sander, and once again it's a Wen unit. I got a lot of their gear, a lot of Vevor as well. Both companies make really good stuff at a very reasonable price, good value. And this particular tool, I found it's really useful for, hold on a sec. It's really useful for doing this complex notching and relief work for fitting a trim on the back end of a body, and any kind of similar shaping, wood shaping. You can think of it really almost as a power file or a power Shinto rasp, because it works the same way. You just kind of hold it up there and press the button and away it goes. And the material just disappears before your very eyes. You can use it at high speed in order to remove stuff quickly. You can use it at low speed for careful detail work. I mean, all of this stuff here was done with just the belt sander, absolutely nothing else. I didn't clean it up with a chisel or anything. I think I hand sanded it to knock down the fuzz after I raised the grain, and that was the only thing I didn't do with the belt sander. And I've actually got another new tool for that too. So yeah, handheld belt sander, great little item for doing special kind of carving work, so to speak. In case I didn't mention it, this was $30. So the next tool is large leather punches. Ever since I got into modding and building guitars about 6 years ago, I've been looking for a way to enlarge the hole on the end of a strap so that you could fit a strap lock in it, and the washer and nut would go all the way down and fit clean and neat. And it turns out that, what is this, a 7/16 inch hole punch, leather hole punch, seems to be the perfect tool for the job once you sharpen them enough. So yeah, after 6 years, I finally found this tool, and I don't have to mess around with strap ends anymore. Just put it down on a piece of wood and get a regular hammer and just pound away a little bit, and it's all done. And let's see, this thing cost $17 for the set. So the next tool is a micro sander, and I actually have yet to use this thing, but I have a feeling it's going to be really useful. This is the sandpaper, and we can get some open here. Yeah. There's some. Yeah, so this is the sandpaper, and you can see how small the sheets are. This is the, actually, I think I've already got it on it. Yeah, and it's already running too. I just turned it on. This is the largest head that it comes with, and it's, yeah, there you go. It's off, low speed, high speed, very high speed, off. And I figured that this would be useful for knocking down the fuzz after shaping the back of the guitar for a trem, and then raising the grain. You shape it with the belt sander and 60 grit, then you raise the grain, and then you have to knock down the fuzz. And instead of doing it all by hand, I figured I could use that little thing and make quick work of that. Because this is, having to hand sand every little surface on this thing is actually rather tedious. So that's the hand sander, and this thing cost $44 on Prime once again. So this is the next tool, and this is a micro drill that I use for drilling pilot holes. It's got like a 1 mil bit on it at the moment, I believe, and it's low RPM but relatively high torque for a unit of this size. And you just turn it on. Wait a sec here. There it is. Yeah. Got to press and hold for 3 seconds. Yeah, it's only 500 RPM, but it's like 0.2 of a Newton meter in torque. So it's pretty strong. I mean, this thing will make relatively quick work of a pilot hole, even in a maple neck. So it's got to be pretty powerful in order to drill through hard rock maple. But yeah, it's only got 500 RPM and forward and backward speed, and that's it. So it's pretty straightforward, comes with a selection of bits, but it is powerful enough to drill pilot holes even in harder woods. And it's nice and small and can get in there, and it's easy to manipulate, and it's not big and clumsy like a regular drill. And it's not like ultra slow like using a power screwdriver would be. If you can even find a decent like bit chuck to go on a power screwdriver. I used to do that, but this is way better. This is a CAG-Y Fly brand. Let me see if the zoom works better. Yeah, there you go. CAG-Y Fly, whatever. But yeah, you can find it on Amazon Prime once again. And this puppy goes for $32. Oh, and it's USB rechargeable. It's not battery operated, so don't have to deal with batteries going dead. Well, except for the rechargeable battery, but yeah, you get the idea. And yes, oh my God, for like drilling tuner holes and stuff, this is so much better than even a 12-volt drill. So the next tool is a parallel ruler, which is actually used in sailing, and it's nautical navigating equipment, like a divider and stuff. And what it is that it's great for when you want to have check or create parallel lines. Like, if you want to see if the top and the bottom of your depth pick guard are straight in relation to each other, or anything like that. Your bridge versus your pickup. You can say, okay, take this part and set my bridge right here, and set this part up against my pickup, and am I straight? And yeah, so it's really handy tool for that. And this guy cost $18. Let me zoom out a little. Yeah, there's the idea. It's about a foot long. So next up is a mini angle grinder with a set of sanding discs. And this basically has the same sort of uses as an angle grinder with sanding discs for removing material quickly, but it's in a more compact and maneuverable size that's good for when you would want to use an angle grinder, but it's just too big and bulky for the task at hand. You can step down to something like this and knock the stuff out real quick. It's actually you get a really good level of control with it, and can get some pretty fine detail with it as well. But it is pretty aggressive as sanders go. I tend to use this a little bit less now, and use the detail sander with coarser grits instead. And I forgot to mention, let's see, this thing costs $46. Comes with like 2 batteries and a charger and a bunch of different discs for it. And then a box of sanding discs was $13. So the next tool is more of a kit. It's one tool and some supplies, couple tools and some supplies. It's everything you need in order to wax pot pickups. You got a crock pot here, got your paraffin and beeswax here, and your digital food thermometer so that you can not fry your stuff. I've wax potted pickups in the past using just like a frying pan, an electric burner, and a melted candle. And I had about a 50-50 success rate. It's really hard to get the temperature low enough without getting, it's hard to get the temperature. The burners are just regular burners. They're way too touchy. It has to be almost off in order to work correctly. So yeah, this crock pot combined with the thermometer makes it so that you have good control over the temperature, and you can safely wax pot pickups without fear. and use, it's like an 80-20 mix. I don't remember which way, I'd have to look it up, but yeah, that's everything you need in order to do it. The quad rails that I use on a lot of the builds, they are no longer available wax potted. You could get them that way a year or two ago from Safu or U-Tunes or one of those manufacturers, but I haven't seen any in a year or more. So this is my solution: is just cook your own basically. And let's see, pricing on this stuff. It's the crock pot was $17. The paraffin wax, there's a big old block of paraffin wax in this box here. It was $10. A sack of beeswax was $9, and the thermometer was $5. So yeah, for not a whole lot of money, you get yourself set up, and there's enough wax here in order to do a couple dozen pickups probably at least. So this is the next tool, and this one's a little unusual. This is a microfiber duster. The same way as you can get like microfiber polishing cloths and stuff. This apparently is the same material. And it's even gentler on a guitar for brushing off dust and dirt and such than using your traditional sawdust brush. And so, when you take something down off the wall and it's collected a little dust, you just brush it off with this thing. And it's got, a wand. In case you're lazy and don't want to take it down off the wall, you can reach up there and just kind of clean things off. And it comes with 3 heads, and so yeah, it's not a bad deal. And this costs a whopping $5. And I'll use it for cleaning off the fretboard before I put oil on it and stuff like that. So this is the next tool, and this is something that I saw a guy on YouTube make one in German, and it works so well. It's just totally awesome. It's for installing inserts, the kind that use a screw type installation tool instead of a Allen hex drive, but you could use it for Allen hex drive type as well if you want. And all you do is screw, this is an M6 size for the size hardware I use, and you just screw the insert onto the end and use this like as a lock nut in order to hold it there, and then just put it down over where you want your insert, your hole for your insert is, and just crank on this with a wrench or a ratchet or whatever, and they go right in nice and straight every time. And it's just 2 blocks of wood and 6mm hole drilled and a nut and a bolt. That's all there is to it. I made this out of a couple pieces of cut off mahogany and glued it together with CA glue, sanded a little bit, 1 or 2 coats of lacquer, and drill a hole, put the bolt in, and that's all there is to it. Didn't really cost me much of anything. Just did it with stuff laying around the shop. But yeah, awesome tool if you're dealing with machine screws and wood inserts. And sorry you can't get this one on Prime. You got to build one yourself. So the next item on the list is not a tool. It's actually a technique and the supplies required in order to execute that technique. The technique is a guitar finishing technique, and it's designed to produce like the slickest, smoothest, highest sheen clear coat possible. And the first step is acrylic based lacquer. Not nitrocellulose, not poly, not anything else, not oils. Acrylic based lacquer. And so you do acrylic based lacquer, and then you sand and polish as usual. And then the next step after that, I forgot to mention the lacquer costs $7 a can on Amazon, or you can get it for $44 for a 6-pack, which is a little cheaper, but not much. So the second step in the finishing process after you've used your acrylic lacquer and sanded it and polished it is Renaissance wax. I used to use furniture paste wax, but apparently this is better. And this stuff goes for $21 a jar. And then this is a new step. This is basically this is a Teflon based product here. This is on the way. I haven't tried it yet. Apparently this is an aerosol spray, maybe kind of like hairspray or something, but have to wait and see on that. A car polish that has Teflon or PTFE in it is the same idea. So basically you would put on the Renaissance wax, and then after buffing off the Renaissance wax, you would then polish it with a Teflon based car polish. It would be the same effect as this stuff. And this stuff goes for $14 a jar. And then instead of wiping it down and buffing it off with mineral oil, apparently this stuff is even better. This is jojoba oil, and it's also not bad for fretboards either, apparently. And yeah, so this is the final step. My old process used to be acrylic lacquer and sand and polish and paste furniture wax, and then dry and buff, and then rub down with mineral oil and buff again. And the new process is the same, but you change out the paste wax for Renaissance wax, and you change out the jojoba oil for mineral oil, and or vice versa. Change out the mineral oil for jojoba oil, and you add in, before the jojoba oil, you add in the Teflon. So one extra step, and other than that, just a change of ingredients. And it's still my old process, but apparently it's supposed to give much better results. So all these parts that I don't have already are on the way, and I'll know in a couple weeks. And let's see, this stuff is $9 for a bottle. And then the last item is another supply, and this is Fret Doctor. And I used to use this stuff years ago. I got 2 bottles when I did the Cowboys guitar originally about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. And I kept 1 bottle for me and for my builds and my guitars. And I used the other bottle on the Cowboys guitar build, and then I included it with the case candy for the guitar when I gave the guitar to my buddy. So he got a almost full bottle of Fret Doctor with the guitar. And you can get a small bottle for $12, and this stuff it's amazing. It's like night and day versus any other kind of fretboard oil you've ever seen. It's essential oils, and it really reminds me of the essential oils used for flavoring Christmas candy more than anything. Stuff's like water or like a petroleum product almost, but they're not. It's like It's like orange rind oil and peppermint oil and those kind of oils. So yeah, and like I said, I had a bottle for myself that I was using on my builds and guitars, and this stuff was just amazing. But I stopped using it because of the cost. But now that I'm trying to improve the quality of every build as much as possible, I'm going back to using Fret Doctor for fretboards. And the stuff is highly concentrated. Just the small bottle, which is half this size, it's enough for one person and a small collection of a dozen guitars easily last you years under that kind of a situation. You only put on like maybe 3 drops, where with like mineral oil or other products, you might put on like a whole cap full in order to douse the fretboard down or hose it down real good. But this stuff, 3 or 4 drops, and it's all it takes in order to do the entire board. Yeah, so that's it for new tools and supplies and stuff around here at the shop. And hopefully you found something of interest, maybe something that might help you out on a build. And so, yeah, thanks for watching. See you all later. Oh, in case I forgot to mention, the Fret Doctor you get on Sweetwater and everything else I got off of Amazon Prime. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.